Okay, on this video what we're going to do is try to concentrate on showing you how to make these screws appear that they're threading as they go in, and as they move into the part they'll turn. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hide some parts, and to do that we'll note that if we just can highlight those parts, and you can hold the shift key and highlight parts. Probably the easiest way here. And if you right click, then let's right click over here. Well, I said we could do that, but apparently we can't do them all at once. We don't want to delete them, that's for sure. So I'll go ahead and just start changing the visibility. Let's try one more thing. I want the base to stay. I don't want the clamp. I'm going to pick them over here and see what that does. If we can pick multiples. Yeah, I can do the visibility on that. So I want to keep the bottom jaw, but I don't want to keep the top. Nor do I want to keep the guide. We just have to make sure we don't get the wrong screws. And actually I believe those are the 1/4 inch screws, so we just want to make sure we don't get the 1/4 inch. And so then now we've got those isolated, and I just want to turn those off. I don't want to get too many things going on here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take, remember we put some tweaks on these two parts. They're 6 inches, and we're going to delete those by right clicking on them and turning that off, so it went back up into its spot there. Right click there and delete that. Okay, so now we can zoom in on that a little bit. You can see there's my part. Now what we've got to do is note that we need to find out the distance, if you will, from the top of this to the top of this piece here, because that's where the threading starts occurring. So when you get all the way through this hole. So we need to know how much travel we're going to have in this distance right here. So to do that, we'll go back to Tools, and well, I said we will. I want to do a measure, but I thought I could do a measure. Interesting. Got to be able to do a measure somehow. Don't have anything there. Well, if I can't measure that, then what I'm going to have to do is just stack it up, I guess. Unfortunately, I thought I could do that, but what I've got to do is note that this screw, I believe, is 3/4 inch long. Oh, 3/8. I'm sorry. It's 3/8 inch long, and the thickness, if you will, on this piece right here. If you go back and open that up, and we had to rotate this around a little bit. In fact, if we go here and hit bottom, I think that puts us right in line. But if you remember from the drawing of the base, this distance from here to here is an 1/8 inch. So if we take that, then if we take that 1/8 inch off of this 3/8, that means the distance from here down to here is 1/4 inch. So that's how far we have to make our first tweak. So we'll turn that shading back on. So we have to make that first tweak 1/4 inch. Let's see, we might be able to do that from right here. Okay, so let's go to the tweaks again. We're going to grab that right on that top face and drag it down, and that's negative 0.25. So that's right where it would start to make its transition into this piece. Okay, then I'm going to take that same thing and do another tweak. This time I'm going to do a rotation. Now, I guess before we do that, let's close that and talk about that. That thing has to move 1/4 inch into the piece, doesn't it? and it says that it's a 1/4 thread. So it's going to move 1 divided by 20 is how we would know how much it moves with each turn of that screw. That's called the lead. You always take 1, which is an inch, divided by the number of threads, which is 20 in this case, and that tells you every time you turn that screw 1 complete turn, that it's going to move that distance. So if we call our calculator up and we take 1 divided by 20, it's going to move 50 thousandths of an inch every time we turn that screw. Well, we know we have to move it 1/4 of an inch, don't we? So let's take that and let's take 0.25 as the quarter divided by the 50 thousandths. It says that it's going to have to make 5 complete turns to get that distance in there. So again, we take the 1/4 of an inch divided by 0.05, which was what we found out the lead was, and you find out that it takes 5 turns to get that thing in there. Now that's 5 turns, so we have to go times 360 degrees is a turn, right? So 1800 degrees is what we need to make this thing rotate. So if we go in and do a tweak and we grab that axis there, and it has to be through the center of that part now. And now instead of doing just a transformation along an axis, we're going to do a transformation about the axis. Now you can go ahead and put in what was our number there. Can't remember right offhand now. It's part of getting old. 1800 degrees. You can go ahead and type in 1800 degrees. If it's the wrong rotation, we'll just have to add a negative sign to it. So now what we can do is let's rotate this around and make sure it's rotating the correct direction. To do that, we'll go to animate, and the animation should show you that those are the first 2 things that are happening there. There's our 1800 degrees and there's our 1/4 inch move. So if I hit that, oh shoot, I got the wrong part. The tweak was on the wrong piece. So let's go back to the base here and note there's my tweak of 1800 degrees. Delete that. That's why that thing was rotating like it was. So I had it highlighted, and if you have it highlighted, it's going to pick that for the tweak. So let's go back and try it again. I'm going to rotate this back around. I want on that axis right there. If it'll snap to it. Okay. The component now I want is just that piece right there. Then I'm going to go here, 1800, about that axis, accept it, and then I'll close. Now let's see what it's going to look like now. So if I animate, there's my tweak. Now, well, one thing we could do here real quick is we could check over here and see that there's my 1800, so I know we're going to be in the right spot. Now it's just a matter of if it's going to turn the right direction. And now notice that thing moves so fast that we couldn't see the rotation. That's too fast. So what we've got to do is we're going to slow this down a little bit. Let's slow it down to 25 and see what that does. Hit apply. And now let's try it. And that would appear it's going the wrong way, wouldn't it? So let's change that to 50 and see what it does. Apply. Okay, and that's still pretty fast, isn't it? Let's set it at 100 once. It sure looks to me like that's backwards. So in that case, we're going to go back in there, change that to negative 1800. Make sure you hit enter and it accepts it. That looks a little better. Now, here's the next problem. It's turning and then it goes and feeds down into the piece, and I'm still questioning that 1800, to tell you the truth. But what I want to do on that is I want to take this tweak for the rotation, hold the control key down on your keyboard and hit that 1/4 inch of movement, and now once you highlight both of those, note that the group button can be selected. So I'm going to hit group and apply, and both of those are connected now, so that when I do my forward, you can see that that thing is turning in just like it should, and it locks in there. Boom, done. Then it goes about doing its business on whatever else you've got going on. Okay, now, so you couldn't have those screws go in before the jaw goes in, could you? So I guess we better go in there then and move this first group down past those jaws and hit apply, and now we'll play it and you'll see that the 2 jaw pieces are coming into place. Now this is already in there for some, oh well, I deleted the constraints, didn't I? And then this is gonna, I put it in one place too shallow. Let's see, let's reset that, and we'll go in and move this up 1. Apply. Now we'll play it. It's going to do its thing here. Now the hex screw should come in next. And there it comes in. And then it's going to do the rest of its thing. So now what we want to do is do the same type action over on the other side here. So let's tweak, and we'll grab that cylinder and we're dragging that out 1/4 inch. Apply that, clear. Then we're going to go in there and grab that again, and we're going to go minus 1800 on the angle there. And we'll accept that, clear out. Okay, then when we go to that animation, that's the first thing that's going to show up again. Okay, so let's play it and see what it does. It looks like the right movement. Okay, so then we'll take those first 2, hold the control key or the shift key, group those, apply, and you can see that now they're going in together. And then we'll move that down below this pipe vise bottom jaw. So we'll grab that, move it down, and apply. When we play that, it's going to go ahead and do its move the jaws. Then it's going to come in and do this screw, I believe, first. Yep. Comes in and does the other screw then. I'm going to have to check that calculation. I can't believe that 1800 degrees. I don't think that's quite right. That 5 turns. 5 turns might be 1800 degrees, but I'm not sure we need 5 turns. So if you go in there though and you calculate, you got 1 and you've got 20 threads per inch. 50 thousandths. Okay, and we're only going to go, that's probably where I screwed up, we're only going to go 1/4 inch, which is 1/4 of let's see, every turn is 50 thousandths of an inch, and we need to go a quarter of an inch. So I think that's going to be, well, if we got a quarter of an inch divided by 50 thousandths, that would take 5 turns to get that taken care of. So 5 turns is 360 times 5. That's 1800, no matter how you look at it. So that's what we would do for that. Now then what I would do also is I would pull these out so that they don't get involved with anything here. You know, keep them similar to what we had before. And I might grab this one, drag it out, and make it 6 inches as well. Now then, when you animate, again, those are going to be out in front, so you have to be careful on that. So when you play it, those go into position. You know, I'm not so sure we don't want to have the jaws go in before that. As you can see, it's going to sit there and wait. And we could group those two together so that they both go in at the same time, just like the jaws do there, the yellow jaws you see. So I think we want to, at least, if we don't group those together, we at least want to put those down in the order some here. I might have gone too far. And then we can play it back again. So there it's putting in the jaws. Unfortunately, we've got this turned down so slow so that we can make sure that those screws are turning in the right order. But it's going to put both of those in. And I think what we might want to do on those, if we wanted it to be more realistic, is when it brings one of those in, we'll just start the turning process. So where 4 is, 4 and 2 should be together. So let's move, actually let's move 3 down. Went one too far. And then let's see, that'll put, that might do it. Let's see what happens. One nice thing about it, you can always just play it, make sure that that's what you want to happen. And you can just move these things around where you need to. Just caution you that sometimes, you know, you can get yourself so out of whack, so make sure that you save them periodically so that if you have to go back, you can pick one out. And so there you go. That's more like it. That's kind of realistic there, isn't it? That makes this a lot easier to be able to see how things go together. So what I'm going to do is we'll stop the video on that, and then I'm going to go back and show you some more of these pieces. We'll bring some of these back up, and I think we've got some other nuts and bolts and things on that all between the fork and the base itself. So we got, you know, this piece right here. You know, we've got bolts that are attached there. So we want to make sure when they come into place, they'll come in and do their turning thing as well. So that'll be in another video.